Monday. Let's go for another week. I am quite looking forward to this week. Sorry, this chair is actually so squeaky. I shouldn't really record here, but anyway, I am just in my office. I have been working this morning. It's about 12:30, and I've had quite a few things to do this morning. I've had a call with somebody who can maybe help me out with a little bit of work, and I have been catching up on emails, been organising things for the week ahead, been trying to get a couple of things booked in, been dealing with an inquiry, a not particularly nice, not particularly positive inquiry for one of my clients, which every now and again as a PR, you get an inquiry that you've got to respond to. Maybe it's an allegation or an issue that's cropped up that you need to respond to on behalf of the client. Obviously, you need to figure out what's actually happened and then put a statement together or whatever. And when I worked in transport for years and years in the corporate world, that was, it happened every single day. We had, some sort of inquiry that we had to respond to from media. And now my role's a lot different. It's a lot more proactive. It's a lot more fun, not gonna lie. It's a lot more positive, where I'm reaching out and pitching my clients for opportunities and trying to find opportunities for them. But every now and again, I still get like a reactive media inquiry that I've got to deal with. So that's come up this morning. So we're just going to get that done. I've got another call this afternoon about Storm Safe Crisis Communications. We're looking at putting some cool stuff together for customers using the latest sort of tech. So we just need to sort of talk through that because we're not the most techie minded, but we're not the worst either. But yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of just need to bounce ideas off each other a bit. So it's shaping up to be a good week. I've got a few things on. I've got a few calls with people who are interested in my services. So yeah, looking forward to cracking on with it all. And I'm going to be talking about a PR activity that I think these days every single business owner, entrepreneur, solopreneur must be doing as part of their promotional strategy. So I'm going to come on to that next. Okay, so honestly, having been in PR and media for 20 plus years now, there's one thing that I honestly think that every business owner who wants to promote their business should be doing, and that is being a guest on podcasts. Podcasting has become so much more popular in the last sort of 10 years at least, and now it is one of the best ways to get your message across, to get seen, to get in front of a new audience. And I will die on that hill if I have to, because one of the things that I do a lot of now for clients, as well as pitching them to media, is pitching them to podcasts, to be guests on different podcasts, to talk about themselves, to talk about their business, to share what they know, and to reach a new audience and hopefully bring in some new customers. So I'm going to talk through 5 reasons why podcasting and being a guest on podcasts especially is such a crucial and powerful tool for any business owner that wants to be more visible and get known for being an expert in their field. So the first reason that I believe this is that podcasts are everywhere. Like, everyone is listening to podcasts. People of all ages, of all backgrounds are finding podcasts that they love. So what can we take from that is your people are listening to podcasts. The audience, the customers, the people you want to speak to are out there listening to podcasts. So you need to figure out as a business owner which podcast they're listening to or likely to be listening to, and how you can get onto some of those podcasts and be a guest and get in front of those people. The second reason that I am a massive fan of being a guest on podcasts is it is such an incredible use of your time. You could, especially if you're recording it over video and not even in person, you could literally spend an hour of your time talking about your business, sharing your knowledge, letting people get to know you, and you could reach 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people without even having to spend much time on it at all. And that's the beauty of podcasting. If I said to you, I've got a room full of even 50 people or 70 people, and they're all interested in hearing what you've got to say, would you like to come and speak to them? As a business owner, you would say, my goodness, yes, please, let me get in that room. That is what being a guest on a podcast is like. You've got an audience of people who are already tuning in because the host has done the hard work. They've pulled the audience together and they've created, that group of listeners that you then get to speak to. And it doesn't cost you anything most of the time. It costs you a little bit of your time, but not much. So it's a great return on your time. Even if you're recording in person, you might travel for an hour or whatever, it might be like a half day. It's still worth it to get in front of the people who could be your potential customers, the people who you want to be seen by, basically. The third reason I am a fan of being a podcast guest is something called borrowed credibility. Now, what is that? Well, basically, as I kind of mentioned before, the host of that podcast has presumably created the podcast, been building it up, recording episodes, getting in front of their audience for probably quite a while before you show up as a guest. So they have built up an element of credibility with their core audience. And when they agree to have you as a guest on the podcast, they are basically allowing you to share that credibility or to borrow it. They are saying to their audience, this person is someone that I think it's worth you hearing from. And that, because it's coming from them, makes the audience immediately pay more attention and probably a little more respect than if they had never heard who you are and nobody was sort of recommending you, if you know what I mean. So to have a podcast host who knows their audience, telling that audience that you are someone that they will benefit from listening to is a huge compliment in a way, and it's very powerful in terms of your reputation. Of course, your job when you borrow that credibility from the host is to show up, deliver value, do a good job, be a great podcast guest, and show them why that credibility was not misplaced. The next reason for being a podcast guest is about the sort of format of podcasts, which are very much long form. So compared to like lots of shorts on socials, podcasts are usually at least sort of 20 minutes up to a couple of hours long. So when you're a guest, you get a chance to really show up, be yourself, let people get to know you, let them hear your voice. A lot of people listen to podcasts, including me, through our earphones. So we really hear sort of intimately the voices of the people that we're listening to. And we can pick up people's personalities. We can really tell if they're the real deal or if they're kind of full of it. And we can really conclude, whether we sort of have a good energy with that person or not, just from hearing them on a podcast. So a long form podcast, which most are, just allows people to get to know you. It allows you to show your personality, to show your knowledge, share what you know, and really help people so that they feel like they want to continue that relationship beyond the podcast, and they feel like they want to then follow you, come into your container somehow, where you then can nurture them and again just build that relationship with them over time. And the fifth reason I think you should be a podcast guest is because there's so much choice and opportunity out there. There are probably about 4 million podcasts. That was the last figure that I heard, and that was a while ago. There's tons and tons of podcasts out there in the world, and they cover all subjects, they cover all topics, niches, themes. So whatever it is that is your niche or topic of choice, there's podcasts out there that cover that. There's opportunities for you to be a guest on those podcasts. And the only way to do it is to get out there and put yourself forward and pitch. And
Will you get a yes every time? No. Will you get a reply every time? No. Might you just get a yes from time to time? Yes. And it's those yeses that keep you going, and it's those yeses that help put you in front of different audiences, that help boost your credibility because you show up as a good podcast guest and you provide value, and help people get to know you and help you bring people into your world so that hopefully in time they can become customers. So yeah, never think, oh, I'll never find a podcast that works, for my industry, or I'll never find a podcast that's a good fit for what I talk about, because you will. I can almost guarantee they're already out there, they already exist. So I guess the upshot is, if you're a business owner who wants to promote their business and you're not being a guest on podcasts, then you're honestly missing a trick. And I would say get out there, find some podcasts to pitch to, and start pitching, because you've got nothing to lose.
Hello, back again, and it is Friday afternoon. I'm about to do the school pickup. To be honest, I haven't really probably brought you along this week as much as I had intended to. It's been quite a boring week, honestly. There's not been much to record in that. I've just been mainly based, at my desk, and I've just been pitching for clients. We've had some nice results this week. I've had a couple of clients who their podcast went live this week. I had a client who had an article published in an online publication, and I have had some clients who've been recording podcasts, getting arrangements made for podcasts. I had a client who did a national media interview, so hopefully that will all be published. So yeah, I've also had the dark side of PR, which is dealing with a negative media inquiry for one of my clients. So we've been sort of backwards and forwards on that, something that happened involving them and one of their employees. That was not a positive PR story, but yeah, I think we've handled it as best we could. So yeah, it's been a busy week, and I think next week I'm out and about a little bit more, so I will try and take you with me a little bit more on that. But overall, what else have I been doing this morning? I had a coffee actually with a contact of mine. We have a little bit of a contra deal where one of the things he does is filming and editing, so every now and again he'll do a little bit of that for me, and I will do a little bit of PR outreach for him. So we just had a little catch up this morning. It's good, contra deals. If you're a business owner, you might get this. It's like where you do something and the other person does something in return. Can be a really good way of working with someone without sort of exchanging, a financial transaction. However, I have tried quite a few of these in the past, and I do tend to find that it's not always worth it from my point of view. So there's only about 2 that I do at the moment, and one is with this guy because he's just a really nice guy and it feels like fair exchange. So there's only really any point in doing it if it's fair exchange. And if it doesn't feel like that, if it feels like either you're giving too much and they're not giving enough, or if it feels like they are giving a lot and you just for whatever reason don't feel like you can give to that level, then yeah, it's probably not going to work. So I've kind of pared it back. I've got, like I say, just the 2 now. But it is, if you find the right fit, it's a really good way of doing business. So that was a nice little coffee catch up. School run now, weekend at home, just hanging out, doing some family stuff. So looking forward to that. And yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. As always, really just do not talk yourself out of getting on those podcasts. Pitch yourself as much as you can. Just get out of your own way and get started is the advice that I really want to leave you with on this video. And just take advantage of the opportunities that are out there now to be guests on podcasts, because as I've explained, there's so many benefits to it. There's so many opportunities that you're really missing a trick if you're not doing that now to promote your business. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a little like, subscribe to the channel too. I've got lots more to share, and I shall see you again the next time.